All right, let's dive into something that's affecting millions of people, but a lot of us don't even know it has a name. We're talking about brain rot. And more importantly, we're going to break down exactly how you can fix it.
So, let me ask you, does this sound familiar? You're struggling to focus on just one thing. You're forgetting little details, and pretty much any spare moment you have is instantly filled with scrolling on your phone. Just, mindless scrolling. Maybe you feel like you're just running on autopilot?
Well, if you found yourself nodding along to any of that, you might just be experiencing what people are calling brain rot. Now, I know it's a harsh term, right? But it kind of perfectly captures that feeling of, well, mental fog. So let's break down what it really is, and more importantly, the simple, clear steps you can actually take to turn it around.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll nail down the symptoms of brain rot. Then, we're jumping into 3 powerful methods to fix it: mindfulness meditation, reading books, and something called time zones. And finally, we'll wrap everything up so you know exactly what to do to fix your brain.
All right, first things first, let's really get a clear picture of the problem. What is the actual cost, the cognitive cost, of being constantly overstimulated? So at its core, brain rot is really just a state of mental exhaustion. You know that feeling when your computer has way too many tabs open and everything slows down? That's kind of what's happening to your brain. It's just being fed this constant stream of short, rapid-fire information from all that scrolling, and it just gets overwhelmed. And that leads to a real, noticeable drop in your ability to think clearly and actually learn new things.
And yeah, the consequences, they really start to stack up. We're talking about your quality of focus just tanking, which, affects your work, your studies, everything. You start losing hours and hours to that autopilot scroll without even noticing it. And that leads to the super frustrating feeling of being stuck and just totally unproductive. The real takeaway here is that this isn't just about feeling a little bit distracted. This is about reclaiming your time and getting your mental clarity back.
But here's the really good news. This is totally reversible. There are real, concrete ways to fight back. So let's jump into our first method, mindfulness meditation. Think of it as rebuilding your brain's defenses from the inside out.
Now, I know what you might be thinking when you hear the word meditation. You're picturing a monk sitting cross-legged for hours, right? Let's just debunk that right now. We're not talking about some complex spiritual ritual. We're talking about mindfulness, which is just a simple, scientific brain exercise. It's not about emptying your mind completely. It's about training your focus. The whole point isn't to stop your mind from wandering, because it's going to. The point is to notice when it wanders and then just gently bring it back. That right there, that's the workout.
And you know what? Getting started is so simple. Seriously. Step 1, pick something to focus on. It can be anything, even just the feeling of 2 of your fingers rubbing together. Step 2, set a timer. Just start with 5, maybe 10 minutes. That's it. And step 3, just try to focus on that sensation. Now, your mind is absolutely gonna wander. It will. Don't get frustrated. The real exercise is in that moment you catch it wandering, and you just gently guide your focus back. That simple little act is what actually rebuilds that focus muscle.
Okay, so meditation is great for training your focus in short bursts. But our next tool? This helps you sustain that focus for much longer. It's something that's been around for centuries, but honestly, it's more powerful than ever in our crazy digital world. And that tool is reading books.
I love this quote. It's a perfect analogy. Scrolling through social media, that's like watching someone else work out at the gym. It's passive. But reading? Reading forces your brain to do all the heavy lifting. It has to create images, connect different ideas, and hold on to a single narrative for a long time, all of which are the exact opposite of what brain rot does to you.
Okay, and this is where it gets really cool. Reading actually physically changes your brain. It strengthens something called white matter. You can basically think of white matter as the superhighways for information in your brain, connecting all the different parts. And when those highways are stronger and wider, your thinking gets faster, your logic gets sharper, and you can process new stuff way more easily. It's like you are literally upgrading your brain's hardware every single time you read a book.
But I get it. Maybe you're thinking, I just don't like to read. The key here is so simple. Just start with what you're already curious about. Seriously, don't force yourself to read some classic novel just because you think you should. If you like mysteries, go find a crazy conspiracy book. If you're fascinated by why people do what they do, grab a book about psychology or habits. The second you follow your genuine curiosity, reading stops being a chore, and believe me, it can actually become a craze. Okay, so we've got tools to train our focus from the inside, but this last method is all about creating an external structure to protect that focus. It's called time zoning, and it's all about switching your brain off of autopilot and putting yourself firmly back in the driver's seat.
So what exactly is time zoning? It's really just the simple act of chopping your day up into dedicated blocks for different kinds of activities. So, instead of just letting your brain drift off into that mindless scroll whenever you're a little tired or bored, you give it clear, explicit instructions on what it's supposed to be doing and when. You're basically telling your brain, hey, right now, this is a productive zone. It is not a scrolling.
And here's just a super simple example of what this could look like. Maybe from 9 to noon, you're in a productive zone. That means no social media, just focused work or reading. Then, from 12 to 1, you're in a break zone. Eat lunch, stretch, whatever. Then maybe it's back to another productive block. But here's the most important part, I think. The free zone. Once 5 o'clock hits, you can do whatever you want completely guilt-free. This kind of structure is amazing for controlling those random impulses and making sure your energy goes where you actually want it to go.
Okay, so we've looked at the problem and we've gone through 3 really powerful solutions. Now, let's just put it all together into a simple, straightforward recovery plan. All right, here it is, your 3-step plan boiled down. First, meditate. You've got to train that focus just like a muscle. Second, read. This is how you upgrade your brain's processing power. And third, time zone. Tell your brain exactly when it's time to be productive. And remember, this is not about being perfect. It's just about being intentional.
So, I'm going to leave you with this one question to really think about. Every single minute you spend on autopilot, every hour you lose to just scrolling, that's a trade. You're giving something up. So the question is, what is your time, your focus, and your potential actually being traded for? The choice of what you do with that answer, well, that's up to you.